Now it's masks being required in Oregon schools statewide this fall. Governor Kate Brown made that announcement yesterday during a sit-down interview with KGW's Kristen Severance. We also learned that the governor will not be issuing a statewide mask mandate for everyone, but she still recommends that people wear a mask. The governor also says she won't be imposing any new restrictions. And when it comes to vaccine mandates, Brown says she's considering it for state employees, although there is a law in Oregon that prevents hospitals from mandating vaccines.
I think it's really important for employers to encourage their employees to get vaccinated, whether they're healthcare workers, whether they're working in technology, whether they're working in manufacturing, whatever folks are doing. So yes, yes.
You would?
Please.
Okay.
We need more people to get vaccinated. There's absolutely no question about it. As I mentioned, this Delta variant.
Again, that was a one-on-one interview this morning between Kristen Severance and Governor Kate Brown. Obviously, the interview took place yesterday. Masks being required in schools, again, part of the big topic. She's saying that there will not be a statewide mask mandate. If you want to hear more from that interview, you can catch it right now at KGW.com.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is working on a plan to require city employees to either show proof of vaccination or get a weekly COVID test. City Council would get the final say, but it is a quick reversal after officials said earlier this week workers would not be required to get the vaccine because it's a personal choice. The city has also reinstated a mask requirement, meaning you'll need to wear one anytime you're in a city-owned building. It's especially crucial because of the Delta variant spreading really fast. The variant accounts for 88% of all current COVID cases in Oregon.
Yeah, that information is according to researchers at OHSU who are currently tracking all the variants. Pat Doris shows us why it is so dangerous.
The Delta variant is a descendant of the original COVID virus that arrived in Oregon 16 months ago. There is reason to fear it, especially if you are not vaccinated, says Dr. Paul Cieslak from the Oregon Health Authority.
The bad news is for unvaccinated Oregonians, you're at even higher risk now than when the pandemic was raging a year ago.
That's because it spreads at least twice as fast as the original and appears to load up infected people with more of the virus, according to Cieslak, making the victims sicker. All viruses evolve and change over time, which is how the Delta variant came into the world. Brian O'Rourke is co-leader of the SARS-CoV-2 Genome Sequencing Center at Oregon Health and Sciences University.
Its genome is made of genetic material known as RNA, and copying that RNA is an error-prone process. The virus makes about one mistake every 2 weeks in copying its genetic code, and those mistakes accumulate over time.
The most successful mistake so far, the Delta variant. Whatever changed during the copying process turbocharged it. O'Rourke and his colleagues study about 10% of all the positive tests in Oregon to figure out which variant is most active, and Delta has been wildly active. Take a look. For the week covering June 26th through July 3rd, Delta variant made up 33% of all cases. The next week, it was 58%, and the week after that, it was 88%. The most recent numbers on the Delta variant are not available yet, but it's a good bet they're even higher. In Northeast Portland, Pat Doris, KGW News.
Now for a look at your morning headlines. The man accused of killing a Clark County Sheriff's detective is now back in Clark County after his arrest in Salem. Guillermo Ray Leon appeared via video from the jail yesterday morning. He's charged with the shooting death of Detective Jeremy Brown as Brown was undercover watching him in a stolen gun case. In anticipation of today's hot temperatures, TriMet is offering free rides to anyone who needs to get to a cooling center and can't pay the fare. We could see triple digits today, though nowhere near close to the 116 record set in June. TriMet says if someone can't pay, just tell the driver they're going to a cooling center. They'll waive the fee. Portland vacation rental company Vacasa says it's going public in a deal valued at more than $4.5 billion. It's part of a deal with an investment firm that will list the company without a public offering. This means none of the current investors plan to sell any shares. It also cuts down on the expense of entering the market. And those are some of your morning headlines.
Let's get back to our Olympics coverage this morning. Track and field action underway at the Tokyo Olympics, and Oregon, as you can expect, has a lot of track and field athletes competing.
Yeah, so we are about to give results from races that finished early this morning. They're not going to air until prime time tonight. So if you don't want to know about the results, Mute.
Or just step
mute
away.
Your TV now or look away. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Grant Fisher, who trains in Portland with the Bowerman Track Club, finished 5th in the men's 10,000 meters. He had a great race, finishing just out of the medal stand. His teammate Woody Kincaid, who ran at the University of Portland and won at the Olympic trials in Eugene, struggled down the stretch. He couldn't keep up with the pack. Over the last 4 laps, he finished 15th.
Let's talk about the first round of the women's 5,000. Carissa Schweizer and Elise Cranny both advanced. Schweizer and Cranny, sounds like a law firm, Nina, but they are runners. Schweizer and Cranny both trained in Portland on the Bowerman Track Club. This is the final of this race, I should say, is coming up Monday morning at 5:40 a.m.
I would hire them. They'll get the job done quickly. Yeah, 2 former Ducks are headed to the next round in their races.
Raven Rogers would be one. She won her heat in the women's 800 meter. She moved to Portland during the pandemic to train with a brand new coach. The semifinal of that race is coming up tomorrow morning at 4:50. And we also want to mention Jenna Prandini, who finished 3rd in her heat in the 100 meter. It's good enough to advance. In fact, it was her best time this season. The semifinal and finals of that event are both tomorrow morning starting at 3:15.
The U.S. women's soccer team is a win away from the semifinals. They are facing the Netherlands right now, and Thorn stars Crystal Dunn, Becky Sauerbrunn, and Lindsey Horan all got the start. The game is airing right now on NBC Sportsnet, and it's tied in the second half. The winner will face Canada, which beat Brazil earlier this morning in a shootout. Well, soon to be Oregon State gymnast Jade Carey has a lot to be proud of. She finished 8th in the all-around after replacing Simone Biles right at the last minute.
That's right. Carey had 2 great scores on her 2 best events. Those are the vault and the floor, but she had a slip up on the uneven bars, and then she had a fall on the balance beam. Carey's mom watched her daughter compete from Orlando with other team members from Team USA, team family members that is. She says she was absolutely proud of what her daughter was able to accomplish.
When they showed her in the beginning, she was smiling and laughing with Suni, and I think that's just part of the experience, is getting to share that with her teammate. Every time she went back from an event, she was laughing with her dad. So I just know that she's enjoying herself, no matter the outcome, and that makes me happy, of course.
And she's not done either. Carey will get a chance to medal at the Olympics in individual events next week. She's competing in 2, the vault and the floor. If you want to have more information coming your way about the Olympic Games, easy way to get that info is to just text that word games, you see it right there, to that number you see right there, 503-226-5088, and we'll text you back with a link to all of our Olympic coverage online at kgw.com.